What's up guys, Cameron Fous here. I've been trading for 20 years. And if you look at this YouTube channel, I don't know how many day trading setup videos I've made, probably like 5 or 6. I think the last one I made was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. So it's time to make the next one here in my brand new villa in Bali, starting with over here. Now, one of the things that I realized when I was renting villas out here in Bali is that I kept working at the dinner table, like my girlfriend over there.
Hi.
So what we did instead was I custom made this house so that I could have a built-in co-working space so that we didn't have to be up in that area in the kitchen when we're renting these houses. We just have it here. So you still have a space in literally the best room of the house. Most often I don't want to be in my office because you're then stuck in a small, concise room. So I wanted to have a space where I could be in the great room of the house, but still have a nice workstation. So that's what we built here. So what exactly am I using? This is the top spec M4 Max 64 gigabyte, 2 terabyte MacBook Pro. That is my go-to computer of choice. And then of course we have the Apple Studio display. It's not the what they call it? What is the big one? The nice one. It's like $4,000. Whatever it is, I don't have it. It's this one right here that I have. But this is plenty fine. And I honestly, I wake up every morning, I go and get my Starbucks coffee at 6:30. As soon as they open, I am at their door knocking, waiting. And then I come down here, have my coffee, and this is kind of where I do my morning routine. But when it comes to a little bit more serious work, I have a full-blown trade setup and podcast studio upstairs. So that's what I'm gonna show you guys next. All right, guys, so we took this laptop wherever we go, and we shall bring this to the studio upstairs. All right, guys, so this is my office upstairs. Welcome, come on in. So this is the monumental trading setup that I'll show you in a moment. But first, let's talk about what we got going on over here. So this is the podcast studio. If you haven't watched the Profile podcast, I got like 6 or 7 episodes in there. I might quit it, I don't know. I kind of got sick of having the same conversation over and over with the same traders. But I built this and then I never even got to use it. But it's pretty awesome. This is the EvoView touchscreen TV. Now, the thing that sucks about living in Indonesia versus America, everything costs double. So a $2,500 or $3,000 TV in America like this is gonna cost you about $5,000 to $6,000 instead. Pretty much anything, all these electronics, everything costs double. So this is just kind of like what's supposed to be a backdrop for the podcast studio. Now I just kind of have it as the backdrop for my YouTube videos if you're watching my YouTube videos. What we also have here is 2 custom-made chairs. Then the Shure SM7Bs, of course, and I have the dual, where is it? Somewhere back here. Here is just like a big smorgasbord of other equipment that I have. A bunch of camera lenses, whatnot, light studios. So this is the other thing that I use for the podcast studio. The Rodecaster Pro 2, which is just literally collecting dust back here at the moment. As far as lighting goes, I will tell you that I don't like the Amaran 150C. This kind of blows your face out a little bit too much. What I do have is the Godox SL200s. I think those are actually much better for lighting if you want to look good. Then also these lights back here, which are kind of the accent lights. These are pretty cool. I do really like these. I have several of these. These are the Godox. What are these? Can't remember the name, but they're Godox light bars. They're actually pretty cool. You can change a bunch of colors, change the temperature, do a bunch of different settings, but they're nice little accent lighting, especially if you're trying to set up like a trading studio for filming. I definitely recommend that. Okay, so now let's actually look at the trading setup because this is pretty epic. Starting with the Razer chair. Love this thing, super cozy, super comfortable. If you're gonna be sitting in a place a lot, it's definitely helpful to have a nice ergonomic chair. So I would recommend the Razer chair. It's treated me well. What else do we have going on here? This is the Elgato mic stand, which is very, very convenient just for having this in and out of your way whenever you're filming or whatever kind of profession you do if you're using any sort of microphone. Of course, the Shure SM7B, another Rodecaster Pro 2. This is the Razer Levion 2, I believe, with the sub underneath. So this is a really good sounding soundbar that I love. Of course, I have the M4 Max MacBook. This is the best screen of all time. This is the 57-inch Samsung G9 Odyssey. Quality and just the immersiveness of this thing is just unreal. So if you're looking for a good screen for trading, this is the #1 screen you can get, okay? I highly recommend it without a doubt. As far as what cameras I use, one, we're shooting on the A7CR. I love this camera. I wanted something that was like super compact and super easy to just carry around for run and gun. That's what we're shooting on the blog. But as far as for what I shoot the podcast with and what I shoot all my YouTube videos with, I have two Sony FX3s mounted on top with the Shinobi Atmos screen monitor here. This lens right here is the Sigma 1.4 Sigma Art lens on this one. Over here, I also have another Sony FX3 for the main like hero wide shot, 24mm Sony G lens. And also this is a really cool teleprompter. Before I've used teleprompters before, sometimes I use it for various things. It's definitely helpful for shooting ads because you really want to make sure you're saying the right things in an ad without any oohs or ums or hiccups. So this is really cool because it actually has a screen built in that then reflects off of. A lot of teleprompters, you have to like mount your iPhone or your iPad in there and you're always like taking your iPhone in and out. It's just a fucking pain in the ass. So this is really cool because it's got a built-in screen. And then of course up here, another Shinobi Atmos screen monitor. Here we also have the Elgato, kind of like a secondary light to fill in the shadows on this side of my face. And over here, we have the SL200 Godox as well. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the trade setup. I love this thing. This is like, I just come in here and I'm just immersed, just having a blast. It feels good to sit here, feels good to shoot content up here. We're also crushing it this week in trading. As you can see, total P&L for this week right now is up $169,000 as of this week. And if you look here, I just had a student that made 1.5 million in the last 30 days. So this is the Quantum Cipher program. Where's my guy? Rick Ross, the boss, said just about a month after studying with camera Fous, and here we are over $1.5 million profit. The system works if you put in the work, forever grateful. Let's keep pushing. So basically what this is, the Quantum Cipher program, is basically 20 years of trading experience combined into one ultimate mentorship program. We do mentorship calls 2 times per month. We actually have a mentorship call tomorrow morning, and also a full brand new crypto and forex trading course that's in there. Basically it's teaching everything that I've learned about trading in the last 20 years of trading. If you look at my YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, I think my first upload was in 2009. All right, guys, just wanted to give you a little bit of value in kind of the inner workings of my brain in the trading system that I use. So if you're trading crypto, which most of my audience is, but if you're not, this is a great lesson that you're gonna wanna learn. Basically, crypto works in 9 different cycles of the entire market, from it going from a bear market to bull market, and then back into a bear. It just keeps repeating. And you can see here, this is the exact framework that I work with. Every single time it works out in 9 different cycles, every single time. This isn't just me creating some like random thing. This is how I create a systematic approach to trading without me having to guess what to be doing. All I do is look at where are we in this 9 cycle framework, and within whatever cycle we're in, there's a specific pattern that we should be trading. So if you look at this right here, this is what I call the force pattern. When an ATH is broken in the market cycle, and you can see here, Bitcoin is in that exact pattern right now, the force. And that typically means we're in the last leg of the bull market. But when this happens, you definitely can see a massive amount of momentum to the upside. And this creates a really big opportunity for altcoins. But altcoins are actually in a different part of the market cycle. Altcoins are mostly down in a revival phase, where Ethereum is here in this revival. So there's a lot more upside potential on altcoins. The problem is we're no longer in alignment with Bitcoin and altcoins. Bitcoin's up here in a force, altcoins are down here in a survival. So for example, if we look at an altcoin like Super, you can see we are in a revival pattern formation, which is indicating that we're gonna see a lot of upside movement. I'm currently long in Super right now. So as long as Bitcoin can remain bullish after this force pattern breakout, we can also assume that a lot of these other altcoins that are currently in a revival pattern setup, we can trade revival patterns with more confidence because Bitcoin is also in a parabolic move or a parabolic potential move, and everything's kind of in alignment. So all I really do is look at this nine pattern framework for crypto and then try to identify where we are in the entire market as a whole, and then identify those patterns so that I can actually trade them. It's just basically turns it into a zero guesswork framework where I just look at the market cycle, pick the pattern that works within that market cycle, boom. And that's why I pull profits like $167,000 this week. And I have students that are also making a bunch of money. So if you want access to this, you can see inside of the actual Quantum Cipher mentorship, there's a full entire video course that explains all this. But also another thing I did was create a trading system section. You can see here, the crypto rulebook. You can go in here and inside of this, every single pattern for within this framework, you can open this up like the revival pattern and a whole entire explanation of exactly how to trade each one of these patterns for every step of the entire framework, which is the Krypton market cycle 9 patterns. So that's just a little bit of insight of how I operate as a trader. None of my positions or trades that I make are my opinion. It's all just, okay, this fits in within the framework of a system. The system tells me to do this, so I just execute on the system. I'm not buying or selling because I'm thinking, hey, it looks like things are gonna go up. It's just the system tells me to do it, so I do it. And usually when I try to trade outside of that system and trade on emotion or opinion, that's usually when I end up losing money. So it's important that you try to be as systematic as possible and take all of your emotions and all of your opinions completely out of your trading strategy, because that's where you're gonna fuck up. But I'd say this is definitely my all-time favorite trading setup that I've ever had. I got this awesome full office out here in Bali, podcast studio that I don't use. I literally just set it up so that you guys can have something to look at in the background of my YouTube videos. So maybe someday I'll fire that up again. But anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today's trading video. What do you think about this setup? Would you like it? What would you change? What am I missing here? What do I need to add? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to get mentored by me, 20 years of trading, I'm not a 20-year-old kid trying to teach you by throwing some Lambos in your face about some fucking dumb $100 to $1 million challenge, which is all fucking bullshit. If you want 20 years of trading experience, mentorship below, or just like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.